It's time to pray. It's time to say, Lord, forgive me. It's time to pray. It's time to say, Lord, please forgive me. It's time. It's time.
Hello world, welcome to another telecast of It's Time, brought to you by Ministries Without Boundaries, a non-profit organization located right here in Palm Bay, Florida, an Eden's Garden assisted living facility. Today we want to talk about end of life, how to handle it, and what to expect. My guest today is Pastor and Chaplain Steve Petty. He's also a part of the Center Point Church, a man who loves to deal with family, children, and youth ministry. Enjoy overseeing, I should say. Yes. Tell us some more about Pastor Steve.
As you were saying, I spent a little more than 20 years in family ministry, primarily working with parents and children and teens for a majority of that time, and did that for more than 20 years before changing over to what is now my ministry and my role as chaplain with Madeira Care Tenders Hospice, which I've been doing for 6 years.
Yes, and that's how we met.
Yes.
Yes. End of life, there are many, I've seen over the years, family members, they don't know how to handle that transitioning moment when their loved one is about to transition from earth. They don't know what to expect. I want you to share with us those moments.
Sure. And what I would say up front is it's hard to give one expectation of what things are going to be like when someone is at the end of their life. But the reality is there are some things that we can do that are pretty common for all of us, and just helping to be with a person in that time to offer encouragement, support, comfort, so that as they are approaching the end of their life, they can have not only comfort physically, but comfort relationally and spiritually as well. And so the best thing to be prepared for as a family is what I always tell them first, there are no magic words. There's nothing magical in what you can say to a person in that moment who has been given potentially devastating news that I've got 6 months left to live. But you can be there as a family just to help gather their story, to help let them know that, especially if you have a parent who has received that news and now you're helping them make final arrangements or prepare things, to let them know that, I'm going to be okay, Mom. Job well done.
Yeah.
And I want to do everything I can now to make sure that you have peace, and to know that you've done what you needed to do with us, you've prepared us, and we're ready. I just want to make sure you're ready.
Yeah. Would that be the perfect moment to say, I love you,
Sure.
please forgive me, or I forgive you? Would that be a perfect moment?
It is, but even more than just saying the words, let them know how you learned love from them. What was it that they did that you carry with you? Something that maybe it wasn't what they said. Maybe it was the actions that they did that just demonstrated how they truly loved you. And while the words are great, letting them hear the stories that you remember from that and how they demonstrated those things lets them know that you really sensed that from them, and it was a core of who they were that will carry forward, and that's part of their legacy that you hold on to.
Yeah, that's a great idea. This way, for both parties, the loved one that's transitioning and the family member that's here, when they can reminisce on the things of the past and how it makes them feel, would make a common ground between them where, it's not so hard to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things as part of my role as a chaplain with hospice is we have to document our interactions, and some of those things are standard as far as like, here's the interaction that I had. And one of those check boxes for me talks about sometimes about facilitating life review. For me, it might be going in and capturing someone's story for the first time, but for you as a family member, it's the opportunity to share stories together. And so when the family gathers together, if you're sitting in the living room or around the dinner table because you've all just heard this news for the first time, it's the perfect opportunity just to begin to facilitate that life review, to share those stories, because we're encouraged in those stories. And while we might have a family member who is going through a sudden decline or loss, we as the family are the ones that experience the grief.
Yeah.
And so sharing those stories together lets you know that you're not alone in that moment.
Yeah.
And you cherish these things and hold on to those things together.
Yeah, and perhaps during the lifetime of the family member who is getting ready to leave, maybe they did not even thought about it or believe that they have made an impact.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But hearing it at that moment may even make them feel better about themselves, knowing that they'll be leaving some form of legacy.
Right.
Yeah.
I would also want to say something real quick. We live in a community
Mm-hmm.
where we have a lot of retired people here that retired from up north that don't have
Florida.
family here. Yeah. They came to Florida because this is where they wanted to retire. That's just the thing to do. More often than not, when I meet somebody for their first time and I ask to tell me a little bit about themselves, where are you from? I'm going to get New York, New Jersey, Maine. And so we have a lot of people that have come down here, but that means they don't have family here as well. And so what I would want to say to the church community and the church family that we have is that's the part where you can play to help come around that person and to help facilitate that time and to share stories and to let them know that their story's not lost. Because unfortunately, we have a large number of people that don't have that community.
Yeah.
And I really want to encourage the church to continue to reach out to that community because so many get lost once they get to the point where they're homebound.
Yeah, you know what? I never even thought about that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So just in case there are members in the church who think, well, I'm not on the pulpit, I'm not a deacon, I'm not an usher, but there are things that they can do to make a difference.
Sure.
That's a great appeal. I like that. As you talk about, members who are given 6 months, sometimes a week, and that they'll be leaving Earth, and the family members, as death approaches, there are physical changes that they don't expect, they don't know about. What are some of those changes and how can they handle it?
The changes are going to vary significantly by whatever someone is dealing with in their diagnosis and whatever illness or disease or just natural decline in the body due to age occurs. But there are things that the family can prepare for. We know as people get older, their mobility goes down. To make sure you walk through the house and find out what are the hazards that are here. Are there things that I'm concerned someone might trip on? Are there things that might cause injury? Or they're not easily accessible and moving things from the upper cabinets to the lower cabinets so people can reach them and can get around the house freely. Adding grab bars and things to get up out of chairs. Those are some of the basics, just preparing early on.
Yeah.
But you're right, some people might not get the news until they are very well into the end of their life. And we're down to the point now where instead of 6 months or a year, we're down into those weeks. And often what we see at that point is someone's body begins just to shut down. And what most people don't understand is that's a natural occurrence and it's the body protecting itself.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that. The digestive system is the first to shut down, and as a nurse, the first thing that came to my mind, oh, they're going to starve to death, oh, they have to eat, they have to drink. But until, there's a scripture that says, I will wink at your ignorance, but when knowledge comes. Now I realize that it's when the digestive system shuts down, like you mentioned, it's the body preparing itself and protecting itself. And as you mentioned, was it yesterday? They, for one of the reasons they won't be feeling that pain, the nerve ending.
Right.
Yeah.
Often you'll notice when someone reaches the end of life, the appetite is gone. They don't drink as much. And we encourage families to understand you don't want to force someone to have an intake of food or liquid that they don't desire or want.
The body won't absorb anyway.
Because at that point the body's not going to get the nutrition from it. but it's also a defense mechanism of the body, where the body, in getting to the point where you are dehydrated, it reduces your pain receptors. And so it is the body going into kind of a numbing effect so that there's more comfort and peace, and there's not so much restlessness as someone approaches the end of life.
Yeah. And also I noticed the changing in the color of the skin. You know, some people get pale, some get blue around the lips. And I remember one family member, she was frantic, not knowing what was happening, and wanted us to call hospice at the time. You know, it's the blood pooling because the circulatory system is now shutting down as well.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, and it's just your heart's not strong enough at that point to push the blood to all parts of the body. And so we know at that point we're really close to the end, and we're looking more at hours and days than we are working at days and weeks at that point in time. And so we prepare the family and want to talk to the family about what we're seeing and what they can expect at that point in time, and to make arrangements. And that would be the time where you want to start to call family in for those who have anything that they want to have left to say at that point in time.
Yeah, sure. And I also noticed that there are family members who feel guilty sitting at the bedside and the loved one, they're not responding, so they feel rejection. You know, they feel rejected at that time. What's going on there?
Right. You know, what I want to say first to the families, everyone grieves differently. And some people feel the need to be there every moment, to sit bedside, even when the patient can no longer respond and the family member can no longer respond at that point in time. But that some people feel the need to be there every moment. Some people, for them, it's too hard to even walk into the room. And for the person that sits bedside that wants that last moment, you're right, they might carry some sense of guilt, and they want to have that closure, and that's okay.
Yeah, hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Mom needs more care than I'm able to give. I looked at a few big assisted living facilities, but I'm not comfortable. I'm afraid she might get lost in the system and neglected.
You should call Eden's Garden Assisted Living Facility in Palm Bay, Florida. If you're looking for personalized care, safe environment, patient and compassionate staff, tranquil and friendly atmosphere. A nurse is always on premises, and their monthly rates are affordable and all-inclusive.
Bigger is not always better.
Call Eden's Garden. Don't delay. Call today.
Okay, pastors, we're talking about the family members who, you know, sits at the bedside and hoping that the loved one would talk to them, and they don't, you know, and they feel rejected. What's going on there we were talking about? Yeah.
Sure. And understand at that point in time, sometimes there's not the strength within the body to be able to communicate at that point in time. And so what we often encourage families at that point in time is to ask something where maybe they can squeeze your hand and instruct them, hey, you know, just squeeze my hand if you can hear me. And most likely the best thing you're going to be able to do at that point in time is communicate to them, and they can just respond with a physical response in that way.
Yeah.
But even at that point, not everyone's going to be able to respond.
Right.
But what I tell every family that I meet with is, I want to encourage you to go ahead and still talk to them, because my experience has been they still hear you.
To go. Yeah.
They still hear you, and so I want to encourage you to talk to them, to say those things of, we're going to be okay. It's okay to let go. You've done your job. Our family's going to be all right. To give them that peace as well. But it also gives you peace to know that you were able to offer encouragement and say things that you wanted to say when we're coming to the end.
And you mentioned the word let go. Have you seen where family members will be in the room is crowded, and they want to go, but they don't want to go while the family is there? Have you seen that? As soon as they left the room, they passed.
As a matter of fact, that's often what I will tell families. One, don't feel like you have to stay bedside every moment. One, you still got to take care of yourself. Give yourself permission to leave the room. And to realize that more often than not, my experience has been that our loved one will let go once everyone has left the room. I have been in homes where everyone was sitting bedside sharing stories, and then just got up to,
Go
because
eat?
either they had ordered lunch and it had arrived, they got up to go eat, and after everyone left had room, their parent had passed.
And then?
And then my encouragement is, don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilt because you weren't there in the moment. Understand that many times our loved one lets go when no one's there, because that's when they have peace. And more often than not, when we are in seasons like the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, we see more people let go after those holidays and all the family had been in than other points during the year, because they had that last goodbye, that last gathering, and then there's a peace that settles. And so
It's like
the
they've
time where
seen
we
everyone.
experience the most loss in hospice is usually the week after Thanksgiving and the week after Christmas.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, you know, we have a saying to say, oh, they were waiting to see this one and waiting to see that one. Oh, so perhaps
And I think there's a
some-
lot of truth in that.
I was just about to
I
say,
think there's a
perhaps
lot of
there is
truth.
some truth to it.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, and as you mentioned about those loved ones who were sitting at the bedside, but lunch came and they went to eat, and when they came back, mom is gone, dad is gone, and now everybody start getting frantic and crying, and if I had known, I wouldn't have gone to lunch. And, you know, for those people, I want you to take a moment and encourage those people. For some, those who don't want to sit at the bedside for whatever reason, and some who don't mind sitting at the bedside. There's no right or wrong to that. Yeah.
You're right. I have learned in doing this for 6 years that families grieve very differently. Brothers and sisters can handle it in a very different way, and you might have one person who you feel the need to be in the room, to drop everything in your own life and to go to your parents' home and to sit bedside and take care of everything for them. And then have a sibling who has a very difficult time even coming to the house. And what I want to say is there's no wrong way to grieve. We all handle it differently. And this is where a time of grace needs to come in, and understand that just because someone is not handling it the same way as you doesn't mean they're doing it wrong. But it's just different. And this is where it's important to understand that maybe they need the space to process things, where they do it independently, where you need to be close to process things, because that's just the nature within you. It's almost like the difference between an introvert and an extrovert, or I would say an internal processor and an external processor. Some people need to talk it through, other people need to work it through on their own. And there's not a wrong way for it when it comes to grieving. And the same thing is true when it comes to that end of life. But what I encourage you to do is, in that grace, communicate. Don't just avoid one another, but communicate. And communicate in such a way that there can still be peace in the environment, so that everyone can still take those moments apart or together with whatever it might be that they need in that time.
What are the key elements of the 7 C's?
7 C's of palliative
in palliative care.
Yeah. And that's something we learned when we go into working for an organization or a ministry like hospice or end-of-life work. And those talk about communication, they talk about comfort, they talk about continuity, and really,
compassion.
compassion. And compassion obviously is a big one when it comes to the end of life. Compassion is trying to just understand what someone is experiencing, and expressing not just maybe your sorrow in the situation, but your desire to support them in the situation. So really kind of the things that I would really encourage for family. One is that the compassion doesn't only extend to the person with the terminal illness. The compassion extends to everyone who's dealing with the loss. Because the person with the terminal illness, when they do pass, everyone else now has the grief of the loss of what they are dealing with. And so compassion is needed among everyone in that instance. Communication is another one. A time comes where everyone in the family needs to know and be informed and stay connected in some way. And so establish a way to communicate with one another, and have grace in that communication.
And collaborate.
And then collaborate when it comes to the care and the needs at the end of life. As someone who is around this all the time, I would encourage every family, make final arrangements ahead of time.
Yes.
Don't wait until a death occurs, because the emotions are higher at that point and the decisions are harder and usually more costly. Make the arrangements ahead of time, where you have a clear thought process on that, and can then not have to worry about it when the time comes. And at that point, simply a phone call can be made to a funeral home because everything else is already taken care of.
Yes, that is really encouraged, you know, for loved ones to do that ahead of time, but they're afraid. People are afraid to talk about death and burial. We'll be right back.
Did you know there were reasons that prevent our prayers from being answered?
No, I didn't.
38 reasons for unanswered prayers.
Wow. Tell me more.
After I read it, it felt like 2,000 volts ran through my heart. It's eye-opening and thought-provoking. You know what I love about it? It reveals my nonverbal thoughts and exposes my innermost secrets. Believe me, it's life-changing.
Now I'm curious. I want to know why my prayers are not being answered.
There will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight. But victory or defeat, it's up to me to decide. How can I expect to win if I never try? I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I started from, and nobody told me that this road, that it would be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Never said there wouldn't be trials, never said I wouldn't fall, never said that everything would go the way I wanted to go. But when my back is against the wall and I feel all hope is gone, I'll just lift my head up to the sky and say, Lord, help me to be strong. I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I start from, and nobody told me that this road, that it would be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far
Pastor, finish this statement for me. It's time.
It's time for everyone to realize 1 out of 1 people experience death. We all face
I
it.
like that.
And because of that, it's not a topic we can avoid. And to best prepare ourselves for end of life with our loved ones, it's communicate with them now and say, I know this isn't something easy to talk about, but I want to make sure that all your wishes are taken care of, that we do everything that you would want to have done. But I also want to ask you, can I ask some questions just so that I know exactly
What to do.
what's best for the family in that time?
Yes, when that
And
time
to
comes.
communicate, in a loving way, that your family is here to support you and to do whatever we can. But there are also things that we don't know,
Yeah.
and so help us understand the things we don't know and give us the opportunity to learn.
Great idea. I like to leave this scripture with you, Philippians 1 and verse 21. For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. That's Paul. He's saying, if I live, I'll be winning souls for Christ. And if I die, I will be going to live with the Christ that I've been talking about. The most important thing for us, loved ones, like Pastor just says, 1 out of 1 will die, is to make sure that our souls are right with God. To make sure that when we leave earth, this side of heaven, we will be spending eternity with God. So in addition to all that we have to say to our loved ones and the reminiscing of the past, and we want to encourage them to seek Jesus before it's too late. See you same time, same place next week. God bless you.
I'm Evangelist Jasmine Gordon. Thank you for inviting me in your home, car, hotel room, and place of work. I do hope you've gained something from this soul-stirring episode. We would love to hear from you. Call, text, or write us at the information listed below. And if you are led to sow into Ministries Without Boundaries, you may do so via Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, or the P.O. Box. And don't forget to join us for another soul-stirring episode right here, for it's time.